The time is now 5:53 on this Wednesday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
Jurors handed down a guilty verdict last night to a Michigan man for the murder of Chantel Moose, an Indigenous woman from Duluth. So 34-year-old Darius Plummer is charged with second-degree murder without intent and second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon in connection to the death of Chantel Moose. The 25-year-old was stabbed in the neck in downtown Duluth last April while standing outside of a bar on West 1st Street. Two other men were arrested in connection to Chantel's murder. 27-year-old Kamonte Kaj of Duluth was sentenced to 5 years in prison for a firearm charge. Meantime, 27-year-old Trayvon Walters doesn't have a court date set yet.
An Ashland man will spend the rest of his life in prison for the murder of two brothers. Nathan Munkeline was sentenced earlier this month to life in prison after the 2023 double homicide. According to investigators, Munkeline fatally shot 30-year-old Manuel and 27-year-old Luis Garcia, who were visiting from Eau Claire outside of the Stagecoach bar. Munkeline claims he didn't intend to kill them. A jury convicted him in January.
A Duluth man with history in the mental health and nonprofit sectors has announced his Duluth City Council campaign. David Klana is seeking the District 4 seat, which includes Lincoln Park, Duluth Heights, and the Piedmont neighborhood. He says if elected, his priorities include affordable housing and neighborhood enrichment. Tara Swenson currently holds that District 4 seat and is also running again. Brandon Parker has also joined the race. If needed, there will be a primary in August with a general election in November.
The new Bass Pro Shop in Hermantown opens today on Haynes Road near Costco. The national chain is known for its large selection of fishing and outdoor gear. During its grand opening today, starting at 5, Bass Pro Shops will be hosting an evening for conservation night where they'll donate a percentage of the sales to support local conservation organizations, along with live music and prizes.
3, 2,
Now we're getting our first look inside Amazon's brand new delivery warehouse in Duluth. So it's located in Duluth's Atlas Industrial Park in the Morgan Park neighborhood. It's what is called a last mile facility. This means that Amazon packages come from bigger facilities like Minneapolis and then arrive in Duluth. Once there, the goal is to have the package delivered to the customer by the end of the day. However, they are still in the beginning stages of opening.